I'm Ron Knippen here at Knippen Chrysler in Delphus, Ohio. Here at the dealership we have a lot of exciting and I'd have to say challenging opportunities for anybody wanting to get in the automotive career. There's a lot of different aspects of it, from your general manager to your sales and service manager, parts manager. We have mechanics, service techs, parts advisors. We have secretaries, clerical. They all play a big part in a dealership. So there's a lot of different career opportunities for anybody looking for something in this field. I myself, I graduated from Fort Jennings High School. Never was that great in school, probably an average kid. Always was interested in cars, worked on my own ever since I was little. From there, I went on to Northwestern Business College in Lima. That's where I studied to become a mechanic. I became a mechanic for approximately 2 years, and then I went out on my own and started my own business. And the only reason I started my own business, I always wanted to be my own boss. I always wanted to have my own place. After several years at home, I moved up here to this location in Delphus. Everything was going really well. Chrysler came to us and asked if we would take on selling Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep vehicles. We took that on, and that's when we really started to grow. I guess what I'm really trying to say is that anybody that wants to get into this field can start out just like I did. I started out as a mechanic, actually as an apprentice, working under somebody, and now I own a dealership. So it's out there for anybody that wants to do it. As we go through some of these career opportunities today, you'll get to meet our service manager, our sales manager, our general manager, parts manager. They'll tell you a little bit about how their day goes. My day starts early in the morning. I get here at 7. I go through everything that I want to get done for the day. You know, some days you got payroll, some days you got your accounts payable, your receivables. You'll get to talk to the secretaries, the clerical a little bit, and they'll put some light on what their job is like. Time-wise, I went to a 2-year school over at Northwestern Business College. They have a 2-year, they have a 4-year program. I prefer the hands-on. The 2 years was great, but to go on to 4 years for somebody thinking about becoming a mechanic, I'm going to say you really would not have to. I'd rather see you become an apprentice and work under somebody, see if that is something you would enjoy doing, especially if you're interested in cars or trucks. Here at Knippen Chrysler, we not only sell them, we sell cars, trucks. We're also a heavy-duty truck shop. We also run 3 wreckers, which a lot of young kids that come out of Lima schools, they really enjoy running the wreckers. They think that's neat, upright in semis, going out on crashes, things like that. When people come in here applying for a job, some of the things we look at, how they are dressed, are they prepared for the interview? I always tell them that here there's a lot of opportunity to keep moving up the ladder to make more money. And here is another thing, the more money they can make me, the more money I can pay them. Because most of them have a family. We're a very small dealership. We're more or less a family-owned dealership. So we treat all of our employees as family. So we want them to treat us the same way, with a lot of respect. We expect them to respect our customers. That's how we make our money, is with our customers. So without the customers, we would make no money, they would make no money. So we try to instill that into them, be on time, be dressed for the job, what it applies for. We kind of go through everything with them, going through the hiring process. A lot of things are going to change here. When I started, most of the engines still had carburetors, points, condensers. None of that is on an engine, anything like that anymore. Everything is computerized. And going down the road, you're going to see driverless cars. So they're even going to need a lot more work and a lot more technology in them. So there'll always be a need for mechanics and repair shops.
Hello, my name is Michael Knippen, and I am the service manager here at Knippen Chrysler Dodge. I graduated from Fort Jennings back in 1995, and then I went on to Bowling Green State University, where I got a 4-year degree, my Bachelor of Business Administration, specializing in finance. I came back here and then started working for my father at the dealership, where I'm primarily the service manager. So my main job is to run the service department. My job is great because there's a lot of variety in it. The day-to-day operations at a dealership, literally anything can happen. So every day is different. Every day has its own challenges. For me, most of my day deals with dealings with customers. So good people skills are an absolute must. You must be able to communicate, you must be able to like to do these things, and be able to relate to the customer. So generally in my line of work, what happens is customers will come to the dealership, they'll either call me or stop in, and they'll have different types of automotive concerns, whether there's a problem with their car, or they just need some advice. And so they'll come in and then we'll schedule them for whatever work needs to be done if I can't address it. When the car comes to the dealership, then it's my job to write that car up. You write the problem down on a repair order and then get with my technicians and dispatch it to a properly trained technician to have them address the particular concern. Once the technician has addressed the concern, we'll get together and we'll write an estimate. So we need to work with the parts department, looking up different parts, whatever it's going to take. And then we figure out the labor for the repair, and you come up with an estimate. And you want to call the customer and update them, say this is what we think the problem is, this is what it's going to cost. And a lot of times it's very careful. You want to explain why the repair needs to be done. Visual demonstrations are great. That way the customer sees this is the part, this is how much it costs, this is why it costs this much, this is what happens if you don't do the repair. So you really want to keep the customer involved in the process as much as possible. After the customer approves the repair, you want to go ahead and have the technician perform the repair. But then also, most importantly, when you're done, you want to make sure that it addressed the customer concern. So you want to test drive the vehicle and make sure that their concern is met. After that, you want to close out the repair order and give them a call, and they'll pick their car up, and again, you'll just kind of want to go over some things with them. So as you can see, lots of customer interaction. You're going to deal with the customer, you're going to deal with the technician, you're going to deal with the parts department, and you're going to deal with the front office as well. So communication skills, you have to be comfortable talking to people, and a little bit of a mechanical knowledge background. There's two challenges in our field right now that I would say. The first is finding good technicians. So for those of you thinking about becoming a technician, the field is very bright. There's less and less people out there that want to work with their hands, and the demand is certainly growing. So if you have a strong work ethic and you can work well with others, you like to work with your hands and you need a challenge, I would encourage you, this is a good field to get into. The technology is moving at a very rapid pace in our field. Technology in automotive is constantly changing. About 20 years ago, cars had maybe one computer on them. And today we look at our cars, the car that we're here right beside has over 40 that work in unison with each other. And all of these computers have to be in sync to make them work. The car that's right here to our left actually will park itself. It will actually stay on the road by itself. Driverless technology is not that far down the road. And what we're going to need is bright individuals who can diagnose these kinds of concerns and work on them. Years ago in our line of work, we rebuilt a lot of engines, we rebuilt a lot of transmissions. That kind of work is starting to go along the wayside. Today's powertrains are generally good for about 200,000 miles, as long as you keep them up and keep them well maintained. What we run into now is more computer type issues, electrical problems. And that's really the other second challenge that we have in our field. As the cars become more and more advanced, diagnosing some of these electrical or computer type concerns can be very challenging. Because just like with a computer circuit board or a bad wire, it can be working perfectly, you bring it to the dealership and then it goes bad, or just the opposite, you can't get it to act up while it's at the dealership. So that'll be the second challenge in our field, is diagnosing these types of problems. So I would encourage you, if you're thinking of getting into this type of field, you like to work with your hands, you like a challenge, it can be a very good field to get into. Because the work that we do at the service department literally is only as good as our technicians and the people that we have working here. So I encourage you to look into this field, and I thank you very much for your time.
Hi, I'm Jeff Lersman. I'm an auto tech here at Knippen Chrysler. I've been probably doing this for probably close to 25 years now. Well, when I was younger, I started out, I liked my hands. I used to take stuff apart just to see how stuff works. Graduated from Clyde High School, and then I went on to Owens and Toledo, got my associates up there, which got me a good base of how cars actually work. Went to a couple start Sears and moved on to a couple of dealerships, and I ended up here at Knippen's. For a typical day, I go up to the service counter, see what jobs need to be done. The service manager gives me a job, pull it in, A lot of times I will hook it up to the scan tool, so you're doing a lot of computer stuff. Check for codes, diagnostics, looking online to see how the thing is made, and try to figure out what is wrong with the vehicle. You do a lot of computer stuff. You have a lot of math involved, chemistry even, electric. You know how two antifreeze, how they don't mix together, would be the kind of chemistry issue. A lot of physics, knowing how things work together, like some vibrations, how certain things makes different vibrations, and or different sounds. I like using my hands. I always like working with my hands, and it's the feeling of actually accomplishing something, fixing, something that was wrong, and you figured it out, and you repaired it. You get to the car, figure out what the problem is with the car. I'll send it up to the parts, whatever parts I think I need. Tell the parts person up there, and they'll look them up. They would get in as figure how much the parts cost. Then I'll give it to the service manager and tell him what needs done, and he will figure out approximately how much time to put on the order to make up a whole estimate of the price of the parts and approximate amount of time to fix it. And then we'll see if we get the okay to do it. If not, then once we get the okay, we would repair the vehicle. And after you get the vehicle done, you want to road test to make sure everything is how it's supposed to be.
Hi, I'm Sharon Brown. I'm the parts manager here at Knippen Chrysler. I have over 23 years experience in the automotive parts industry. I graduated from Indian Lake High School. I also graduated from Ohio High Point JVS in Bell Fountain. I graduated in auto tech. I was the first girl to graduate in the auto tech class at that time. I went from my senior year at auto tech to work at a Chrysler dealership in Bell Fountain and started my career as the delivery driver, delivering parts, checking in parts, and further from there, moved to the parts counter. I became a parts advisor, worked on the counter, looked up parts, and I became an inventory controller, worked on inventory, and now I'm a parts manager. Typical day for me, I come in 8 o'clock every day. I check in a parts order. I have a parts order I order every day. I come in, I get the order checked in, put parts away if it's for stock, put the stock away if it's for the techs to fix a customer vehicle. The techs come up, I hand them their parts needed to fix the vehicle for the day, get them taken care of. I call customers that come in off the street and order parts. I call them and let them know their parts are here. They will come in and pick them up. We also order parts for body shops, garages. We deliver the parts to them daily and get them taken care of so they can get the customer vehicles back on the road. Throughout the day, we take phone calls, help the techs throughout the day, working on the vehicles in the shop, take phone calls with customers that break down as they're traveling, vacations. My job is, I like helping people. I try very hard to get the correct part the first time so the customer can get their car fixed and get back on the road. Some of the skills that I think are required for parts is you definitely have to be a people person. You speak with people every day. A little bit of automotive knowledge, either if you can take a course for automotive, it's very helpful, or hands-on if you work on vehicles at home with your dad or in the garage. Know a little bit about cars, and that way if the customer does come in and tries to explain something to you, you kind of have an idea of what they need or what they want to be able to help them. There are different programs that we use, like there's ADP, AutoSoft, just different programs if you're familiar with any of the computer programs that are used in the automotive industry. How I got into this career is when I was younger, my older brother never knew how to work on a car, and he called my dad all the time. He got a flat tire, and my dad had to go to him and help him with his flat tire, and my dad was mad. And so for me, I will not be one of those girls stranded on the side of the road not knowing how to fix my flat tire on my car. So that's how I ended up getting into this field, was wanting to be able to work on cars myself and understand cars when all the guys around you are talking about all the automotive stuff, all the car starts, all the car parts. I wanted to be aware of what they were talking about. I enjoy helping people. I enjoy meeting new people and, you know, making sure that I do order the correct part for them and making sure that, you know, their vehicle is fixed and that they can get back on the road.
Hi, my name is Jackie Coles and I graduated from Fort Jennings High School in 2004. Right after school, I went straight into the working field. I didn't know what I wanted to do for college, so I just kind of found a job, and I fell into this one right here at Knippen Chrysler, where I'm the office manager. I've been here for 13 years. Here at Knippen Chrysler, we have only about 20 employees, so everyone kind of helps each other out. So here at my spot, I'm the office manager. I help answer phones. I greet customers when they come in the door. I schedule them in. I also do all the mailing, the banking, do accounts payable, I do accounts receivable. I also do a little odds and ends of cleaning and all that fun stuff too. It all comes with the job. We also have an office manager across the street in sales, and she does all the inventory for the new and used cars. She does title work, she does a lot of the advertising for Facebook and social media just to keep up with our website. For skills for this job, you have to be a people person. I deal with maybe 30 to 40 people a day, whether it's on the phone or if they come in to do service or parts. I deal with them. You have to have computer skills. That's about a basic anymore. Everything's on the computer. You have to be very organized, and you have to multitask. There's always a lot going on, and you kind of have to do one and the other right away. A few things I like about this job is it stays at work. I don't have to bring anything home. I don't have to check my email. I don't have to get a phone call in the middle of the night. I said as soon as I work from 8 to 5, as soon as I'm done, I go home and I spend time with my family, and then I just come back the next day and start all over again. I also enjoy the people I work with. It's hard to come around sometimes, and it's very nice to work with them, a great crew, and we always see new people every day. So helping them with their car problems it's nice and rewarding.
Hi, Tom Rain, sales manager at Knippen Chrysler. I've been here for 20 years. Been in the car business a total of 43 years. Started out in sales, went to used car sales manager, new car sales manager. I was general manager of another store. The biggest thing with this job is you have to like people, and you have to like being able to help them fit their needs, the type of vehicle that they want or need. Pretty easy to do. You just have to feel comfortable and just be real easy around people, answer their questions, and do everything pretty much direct and to the point. Help show them their vehicles, help them find a specific vehicle if we don't have it in stock. It seems like everyone wants something a little bit different, and as far as any particular training, business training would be good as far as a business degree. Anything that would help in the psychology field to help understand people and their needs and what they're really looking for. Typical day for a sales manager: you get here in the morning, go over with your salespeople what they had for customers the previous week or the previous couple of weeks, see how close they are on putting a deal together. That brings us to another subject of a salesman. What we look for in a salesman is someone with a high energy level, someone who really enjoys dealing with people, understands the automotive industry. There's a lot of training that you can go through, so if you're a high energy person and likes to deal with people, Chrysler supplies all the training that you would need to get the job done. A lot of my day is spent looking for inventory, specific cars that we need, going to auctions a couple times a week, ordering new cars, praising cars for the salespeople so that they can help put their deals together, and then kind of help see that they can follow up and put all the deals together that they're working on. What I like most about my job is dealing with people on a one-to-one basis every day. You never know what to expect. Somebody might come in looking for a big truck. The next customer might want a little sports car. Everything's different. It's not the same day to day. And of course, when it comes to winter, there's the problem of snow, removing snow, keeping the cars clean, brushed off, and ready to go.
My name is Chuck Sperry. I've been in car sales for 6 years. I've been at Knippen Chrysler for 2 years. I guess the reason I got into car sales is because it's the reason I can help people with one of the second hardest things to buy in their life. So I guess what I enjoy about it is when they get a vehicle that they really enjoy, and then a year later they call me back and tell me how much they love their vehicle. I was in the military for 3 years. I was an airborne ranger. After I got out of the active army, I was in the National Guard for 5. After that, I turned into a construction worker at Minky Brothers Construction, and I also coached volleyball at Fort Jennings High School, which took me to state in 2003. After volleyball, I decided to become a professional golfer. I taught out in Arizona at John Jacobs, and my wife says after 8 years, it was time for me to stay at home so I could take care of the grandkids. On a day-to-day basis is basically when I come into the door, I check my emails and make sure first thing I do is if anybody's looking for a vehicle to contact them right away. Then I also do some follow-up on previous sold vehicles. And if I have them working a deal, I usually get contact with the bank, or if they need some other information, I try to do that kind of stuff. Then there's always product knowledge. There's always, you gotta keep looking and see what's going on in the car industry and all that stuff. But mainly it's Chrysler.com, it's dealerconnect.com. And what that does is it gives us all our training and has product knowledge and all that stuff on there. And if we gotta get incentives on the new vehicles, that's where we go. Sales position is basically you get paid on your commission what you sell on the vehicle. You can sell it as warranties, you can sell it, your commission on what you sold the vehicle for. Then also the banks give us a certain percentage if we work with local banks.